Palm reading of a female whose age I don't know. After I give the reading to her, I would be talking to her. I would be talking about important points on her palm right now. Whoever is showing the hand, they have got some similar questions. They want to know about health, family life, money, possessions. These are the basic questions everybody has. So I would be concentrating on only these particular questions and marking the most important line that I find on this particular hand. In a female's hand, it is considered that we should look at the left hand, and in male, we should look at the right hand. But in my case, I give importance to both the hands to arrive at the conclusion. It's not only one hand, but both hands are important hands to be considered. The first line that I find significant is this particular perpendicular line that we see out here. Now, many people would have like many weaker kind of lines. Weaker lines have got less significance compared to a deep and clear and simple kind of a line. The word might be simple, but these simple, deep and clear lines are rare kind of lines that we find on the Mount of Mercury. A very distinct kind of a line on the Mount of Mercury indicates that this particular person, this particular lady is likely to have very good set of skill. Now, skills can be of any kind. Skills can be mathematical skills, communication skills, engineering, biotechnology, computer science, anything, human to human networking, computer networking. It's not that they would be knowing each and everything, but they would certainly be, they would have very sharpened kind of skills. The deeper and the clearer the line means more sharpened kind of skills that are there. It is always better to have less lines over any particular amount. More lines kind of destroy the quality of that particular amount, specifically if they are horizontal and they are a grill-like formation. Too many crisscrossing lines destroy all the qualities that the planet possesses. And the planet of Mercury is the planet for communication and calculations. So because these are perpendicular lines, one line, this is a weaker line, second, third, fourth. So multiple lines on the Mount of Mercury indicates multiple set of skills. And if we just go by the Palmistry book says that if you have multiple lines on the Mount of Mercury, it is likely that you could be a very good doctor. But in my case, I would say that not every person who has got these particular lines would become a doctor. It's the person, or they would have healing touch. But I would just say that they have got multiple set of skills. So this is one way of looking at it. The second important line is this particular line that you find out here. Now, the name of this particular line is the Mars line. It is in Western Hemisphere, the Western countries, it is basically named as Guardian Angel line, supporting lifeline. You can call it anything, but this line is the line for protection. And this is the line of the lifeline. Everybody has a lifeline, but not everybody is going to have a line of Mars. Very few people are going to have it. And even if they have a line of Mars, let's say this is the lifeline. So a person just might have a small line, or maybe a little bit longer line, or maybe the line starts at a different age out here. So there are many variations in the Mars line. But in this particular case, what we find is that the line of Mars is running parallel to the main lifeline for the almost the whole life. So when both these lines are running together for a long duration of time, I would normally say that protection is going to be there throughout their life. So this is the line for protection. Now, protection from whom? Protection from difficult people, difficult situation, and from diseases, from any kind of problems that the person could face, the person would get protection, and they would have that fighting spirit within them. They would have a spark within them. The spark basically means, let's say that you have got a car, and just because of the spark plug, your car isn't going to start. If your spark plug gets affected, your car basically is, you can't start the car, you can't use it. So same goes out here. So what happens is, imagine a situation that any portion of your lifeline uh, and everything gets destroyed in your life. Let's imagine, I'm just giving an example. So any point of life in the early portion or in the later portion of your life, everything, if it gets destroyed, this person, this lady would be able to rebuild their life. And to basically, it would be very difficult for another person to defeat such a person, because these people give very good fight to other people. So this is a very positive line to have. Now another significant indication, I wouldn't say the line, but an indication is, this is the heart line, and there's a break on the heart line out here. Now this is the earlier portion, this is the mid portion, this is the later portion. So a break on the heart line could indicate an abrupt ending in a relationship or a partnership or the work that you are doing. So this is basically a little bit kind of a negative sign. Now this break is kind of a little bit near and under the sun finger. Sun finger, and this break is under the sun finger. So when the break on the heart line is on the under the sun finger, it could indicate eyes or heart related issues. But don't worry too much. Don't think that 100% these things are going to happen. It's just a possibility. This is what I'm trying to convey out here. The other portion, other important line that we find out here is that the money line is starting on the Mount of Moon. This is the Mount of Moon, and the money line is starting out here. This is one line, it breaks, then another line starts, it kind of changes its course and kind of then targets more towards the Mount of Saturn. So a money line should always point towards the Mount of Saturn, this point. The straighter the line, the better it is considered to be. But when the money line starts on the Mount of Moon, the person could gain from public appreciation, trading activity, service industry, anything to do with foreign countries, or anything to do with travel. So those are the things or benefits that the person could get from unknown people or from male members, and these male members could be family members or far away or friends also. It could be, and in foreigners it could be male as well as females, or even benefits that the person could get from water and water element. So in this way it is good, and there's a break in the line of money at an earlier portion. So this portion, the break is happening around the age of, let's say, 24, 25. This is where the break is. 24, 25, 26. That's the approximate, I would say, that the break is. Apart from this particular money line that we are speaking about, there is another line that you find out here. This is also the line of money, and this is ending before it touches the headline. So this point, the intersection of the head and the money line is age 35. So because it's ending before the age of 35, we would say few problems could have come around the age of 34 or so. When there is a break in the line of money, there could be multiple meanings that could happen in their life. One of the meanings is job loss, work loss, business loss. The second meaning could be the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth gets affected and more responsibility falls onto your head. The third option could be your personal life can also get disturbed. So there's a break out here, there's a break on the heart line. So we try to correlate. So these are also the options that could also happen. Now, if we look at the line of head, this is the line of head, this is the line of money. So this intersection, age 35, this portion of the headline before the age of 35, this is after the age of 35. So what is not very clear is, okay, one line is kind of horizontal and it is touching this point. So this age where a horizontal line from the Mount of Mars touches the headline is age 35. This point is age 35. So it is touching your headline and as well as the money line. So both get affected. But because the quality of the headline and the money line does not deteriorate too much, so we would say that problem come and basically you handle it and you basically move ahead. So this area is the area of fire. So a line from the area of fire, the area of a Mars, touches the headline. So it is bringing fire inside and touching your money, so money gets burnt. And the head, basically the more anger basically comes into the mind, and when there's anger in the mind, the chances of taking the right decision decreases, because when we are angry, the chances of taking the right decision is not there. You can't take the right decision when you are angry. But because there is also a protection line, this is the line of Mars, so this acts like a roadblock between the fire. So it is something like lifeline is the car that you are traveling in. This is the speed breaker. The Mars line is a speed breaker. The horizontal, the parallel line to the lifeline, and the horizontal Mars line is a cycle or a truck or a bus or a ship coming and striking your life or the money line or whatever it may. So wherever it touches, it affects you. So in that way, it is considered to be negative. Even somewhere before the age of 35 also, it's a little bit unclear what should I call it, because the headline is getting affected a little bit under the Mount of Saturn, and Saturn is the planet for depression, depressive tendencies. There are good and bad qualities of Saturn, so don't think Saturn is always bad. Saturn is very good as well and bad as well. I can't say that it is an island like formation. If it was an island, I would have said total mental isolation, or mental hardships, or depression or depressive tendencies. But I can't say with certainty it is an island, and this is happening before the age of 35. So a simpler line would have been better, but because the line gets a little bit complicated, so that's the reason why I wouldn't say this is the best period. The later portion of the headline, you will notice it is moving a little bit upward. It might show in the other image, and an upward motion of the headline is considered to be good. This is the last portion of your life. It is very, very rare to find the headline move towards the fingers, towards the upper portion of your hand. So consider you are standing besides your hand. So this is your head, this is the lower portion of the body, this is the gravity, and this is the sky. So headline moving upward, pointing towards the finger, is considered to be good. It means mental upliftment. And when is this mental upliftment happening? It is happening even at the last portion of your life. See, in the last portion of your life, you generally get disappointments. It's general. I'm not saying with you, but it is general. But in your case, because it's moving upward, it is a beautiful sign to have. It could be those, depending upon what you want in your life, in those spheres of your life, you would get benefits. So in that way, it is a beautiful sign to have. And an upward line is also seen as a writing skill, because Mercury is for writing skills or communication or any kind of calculation. So though in that way, and because the headline is also very straight, so this area is the area for practicality. This is the area for Mars positive area, and Mars positive area is the area of coolness, calmness, and tenacity. So in that way, it is the upward motion or the straight line is considered to be good. I wouldn't say that a downward moving line is bad, but it just changes your perception, the way you think. The upward motion, I've already explained what you are. Now, in the other hand images, you would also find there's a line that is kind of originating on the Mount of Jupiter and joining the headline. I would just show it in the other hand image that we have out here, so that we find, like, take a look at the right hand. This particular line that I'm speaking about, it's kind of joining out here. So what happens is that normally the headline doesn't start on, or a branch does not start on the Mount of Jupiter. Normally the headline would start at the edge of the palm, this portion. So the edge of the palm, it might start something like this, and the lifeline is going to be something like this, or the lifeline could be something like this. There could be variations out here. But what we find is, because of these particular lines, even if we find it on the right hand, it tells something about you. Don't think that it doesn't tell about you. Both right hand and left hand needs to be considered in both the in a male as well as female. So don't worry too much if I'm looking at the right hand. Even right hand needs to be seen. So Jupiter is a big planet. Big planet means growth, expansion, honor, respect, position, and power, and spirituality. So a line that originates on the Mount of Jupiter and joins the line of head, it would mean your mind is getting guided by Jupiter. Mind getting guided by Jupiter means you're seeking the qualities of Jupiter. Your mind is aspiring the qualities of Jupiter in your life. So you're working towards it. You're working towards a higher position of honor. So, and this position of honor is for throughout your life. Although this line is joining when you are around the age of, let's say, 11, 12, 13, that particular age. But this is going to be for throughout your life. It's not going to be, it's going to last throughout your life. Even in the last portion of your life, it's going to last. So in that way, it is a beautiful sign to have. Not many people would have it. Headline is also straight, something like this, and it's a slightly upward motion, and it's a very straight and a long line. Straight and a long line means that the person is a headstrong kind of a person. It would be difficult to break the person mentally, and the person creates a lot of mental boundaries around themselves. So it can be seen as a good sign as well as a negative sign, because too much strong mental boundaries can be seen as a negative sign. So I would not say that headline is the line of intelligence. Normally people think headline is the line of intelligence, but in fact headline is only the line of your thought process, the mental inclination, the mental strength, the mental weakness. Those are the things that can only be depicted on your line of head. So in that way, the headline is good, and things are likely to remain good in your life as you're growing older. What we find significant out here and different out here is, apart from this particular headline, there's another line that is there out here, but this is not continuing for a long time. So it is there only till this particular point. So this particular point is roughly going, if this is going to be age 35, so where it ends, it's going to be age approximately 33 or so. Now there are two different meanings out here. The line that is kind of joined with the lifeline for a long duration of time. It's a long duration of time. Both these lines are tied down together. It would mean that the person is cautious, shy, hardworking, and contemplating, and they lose opportunities in their life. Losing opportunity may not be a negative sign. It just means you leave the opportunities and concentrate on only one thing, even if it's a monotonous job. So this is one way of looking at it. The second way of looking at it is, apart from this particular headline, there's another headline. And in this headline and this lifeline, there's a gap in the middle. This gap is there. So when there's a gap in the middle, it means that the person is a rash person, outgoing person, never missing out on opportunities. Just do it attitude is there. They basically love action. This is what they are. So notice out here, there are two personalities within this particular person because of two headlines. When there are two headlines, it means two brains and two personalities are likely to be there. But probably these two personalities do not last a lifetime. They only remain for some duration of time, and the other line basically takes over the previous line. So probably this line needs to be considered, and this line can be ignored. But at the same time, two headlines could make a person too much headstrong and would not let the heart lie independent, or let the heart take decision. And compare a person with one headline and compare it with a person who has got two headlines. So two headline people are likely to be that even a small stone, if thrown in a lake in still water, it's going to create ripples. So even in this particular person's case, when even a small thing is said against their wishes, there would be ripples inside their mind. So in that way, it may not be the best sign to have two headlines, but there's nothing wrong with it even if you have it. But I'm just explaining what it is. Now let's take a look at there's also in the initial period of your life also there's upward lines. So upward lines on the headline, always good. There could be upward lines here as well around the age of 50, 55 or 60, and even in the last portion they are upward lines. So all of them are basically good lines. Now if you look at the money line out here, now this is the line of money. Again, the same thing, it's starting on the Mount of Moon. But out here, it's ending at the age of 35, 36. This point is age 35, 36, where there is an intersection of the head and the money line. And a new money line originates at the age of 36, and that continues till the last portion of your life. Another portion, which is a little bit rare kind of occurrence, is there's a branch-like thing that is moving something like this. It's pointing a little bit towards Mercury, but it is encircling the Sun mount as well. So it's getting the qualities of Sun, the Mercury, the skill, and the Saturn, the money. So all of them are getting accumulated out here. The Sun is basically name and fame, this is money, and this is skill. All of them get accumulated somewhere at the age of, let's say, wherever there's a V-like portion, this point where there's a V-like portion, you notice out here. So it's happening. So this point, if this is age 35, so this point is likely to be around the age of could be around the age of 49 or so, where this V is kind of forming. Don't think V means victory, but V just pointing towards finger is something like energy is penetrating the fingers, energy, light or current is penetrating the fingers, and they enter your palm, they enter your life, and then they get accumulated out here. So this becomes a significant portion of your life, the age 49, 50. That's where it is. On the lifeline also, there are few upward lines pointing towards the Saturn mount. So these are luck lines pointing towards the mount of Saturn. These are luck lines. So these are good lines as well. And these lines are around the age of, let's say, between the age of 38 till the age of 5-10 years. These lines last. In this particular case, there are some branches in the earlier portion. So branches in the earlier portion of your heart line means love for children, and children basically might be getting hugely attracted towards you. The other is the heart line kind of ends out here. There's another line running parallel out here, and a new line basically starts out here, and that ends on the Mount of Saturn. So when a line is running parallel to your main heart line, it could mean duality in your emotions, dual emotions. So it is something like you are in two different boats at the same time, and you are in still waters, like in a lake. So but even in a lake, if you try to balance on two different boats, you are likely to fall down. Not maybe like in the initial few seconds, but maybe in a few minutes you are going to fall down, because you can't balance on two different boats. So it's always better to have a single line of heart instead of these multiple lines, two lines running parallel. So it could be seen either from the point of view or point of relationship, or it could also be seen from the perspective of two different works at the same time, because we love our work, our profession. So we are in two different boats at the same time in that way. And this is what I'm trying to convey out here. The sun line out here is reasonably okay before the age of 35, then it kind of vanishes between the age of 35 to the age of 53, then it re-emerges after the age of 53. I'm just going to look at these particular lines towards on some other hand image. The heart line ending under the Mount of Saturn means these people are realistic, grounded. They know the ground situations very well, because Saturn is all about these particular qualities, and Saturn is all about money. So the heart is targeting towards Saturn. So it basically means you are aspiring the qualities of Saturn. Your heart basically desires the quality of Saturn. The heart desires money, because Saturn is money. So these people value money, respect money, and they kind of multiply money, and they are good at managing money. The calculation of money comes from the Mercury mount, but the desire for money either comes from the Venus or the Saturn mount. So these are the two planets out here. So in that way, these lines are good. I just briefly look at the other hand images. So there's a break in the heart line. So break, I've already explained. I won't repeat the same thing again and again. An abrupt ending in a relationship or a partnership or the work that you're doing. These perpendicular lines are the skill lines, which are good. The sun line is also good after the age of 53, more deeper. In the earlier portion, it is also good before the age of 35. Then it is kind of vanishing. And then it's a little bit weak between the age of 44 till the age of 53. So weak line basically means doubts and self-doubt. When the line of sun is good, it means more clarity and more name and fame during that particular portion of your life. Let's take a look at this particular line. So you see it much more clearly. The sun line out here is not so clear between the age of 35 to the age of 53. It's not that you won't gain out there. It's just that lack of clarity. See, mainly why the person succeed or don't succeed is because there's either clarity brings success, and lack of clarity brings doubts, and self-doubt basically destroy all the qualities that you have. And let's take this particular hand. This upward moving line is very distinct out here. This is a beautiful line to have. I consider this to be a very good indication. There's a little bit more lines in the center of the palm, so this is the area for temper, and temper we need to keep in control, because if we lose our temper, we lose everything. And maybe, I am not very certain, probably this is kind of like this is appearing to be like an island. So island under the Saturn mount, I already explained. Before the age of 35, there could have been few problems that the person could have faced: mental isolation, anger, aggression, problems, oppositions. So those are the things that could have affected. Now the nails basically tell any disease or not. So I find that the nails are reasonably normal kind, so I don't find any such thing. And as it is, you have a protection line, so you would you feel protected, and it's going to be good in your life. Like health, you don't need to worry about according to the nail formation. The money line is also good towards the end, so there would be no problem in the finances, and there would be lots of accumulation also, because the Saturn, the money line is also purely targeting Saturn, and Saturn is money. So in that way, it is a beautiful sign to have. And this hand I've already seen. This is the line of heart, and this is the line of attachment. So initially one line, this line moves upward. From moving upward of line means upliftment from the relationship. And this line, there's a branch-like thing. So branch-like thing may not be the best, pointing a little bit downwards. So some emotional disappointment from the attachments can be expected. It's always better to have a simple short line, not a very long line. That is the best, I would say. A complicated line complicate the relationships. And this particular line is the main distinct line, and there's another line that is running parallel. So maybe this is a branch, and a branch may not be the best, but this initial line, because the quality is good, so good relationship can be expected. But because you've got breaks on your heart line, break on the money line, so during that particular portion, the life could have been affected. And I would end the video out here. Hopefully you like the video. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care.